is in like full control. I would hope she's in full control, but I don't know because I'm hearing some stories about donors that are pushing things. I'm hearing about the pressure that's even happening with plans.
That's the other thing. They said that he took it apart and then put it back together again. Shut up. Do you know how much time it would take to do that if you were highly skilled?
To disassemble a gun.
To disassemble a rifle so that you can get it in a backpack. And by the way, not going to fit.
Not going to fit in a backpack.
And then somehow or another reconnects it once he gets off the roof? What? Like, you're telling me that this kid who's not military trained, this guy, first of all, how did he get to the roof? How come nobody was looking? How come nobody was like, there's a direct line of sight between where he's sitting and those roofs? You guys didn't check? You don't have a drone? Like, that's insane. So he's on the roof, he shoots, he jumps from the roof. He jumps down 14 feet, jumps off of the roof and lands, whether or not he's even the guy who shot him. Maybe he thought he was going to shoot him.
Joe Rogan just dropped a bombshell twist that could completely flip the entire Charlie Kirk story upside down. Out of nowhere, Rogan publicly came to the defense of Candace Owens. Yes, that Candace Owens, the same one who's been ridiculed for months. Called a conspiracy theorist and attention seeker for insisting the government was hiding key details about what really happened. But now that Rogan's putting his voice behind her, the entire conversation has shifted. Suddenly, people are listening. And what he's implying goes way deeper and darker than anyone could have imagined. According to Rogan, the official story about Charlie's sudden incident doesn't quite line up. He hinted that the truth might involve people far closer to Charlie than the public has ever considered.
Erika is in like full control. I would hope she's in full control, but I don't know because I'm hearing some stories about donors that are pushing things. I'm hearing about the pressure that's even happening with planning this event. And nope, you're right. You got me. I was not invited to speak alongside President Trump and JD Vance on the stage with Tucker Carlson at a memorial.
Candace Owens has been shouting from day one that something wasn't right behind the scenes. And now, for the first time, her claims don't sound so far-fetched anymore. Fans online are buzzing, convinced that maybe, just maybe, she was onto something real all along. The latest rumors are wild, pointing toward Charlie's wife, Erika Kirk, who's allegedly been working quietly behind closed doors, trying to keep things controlled and contained. Ever since the incident, people have noticed her strange behavior, from awkward appearances with public figures to her desperate attempts to shift the conversation and make everyone move on. None of it sits right with viewers. And Rogan? He didn't name names, but the way he spoke, the tone, the pauses, the careful choice of words, made it clear he knows more than he's saying. He even mentioned that several official explanations just don't make sense, which immediately sent social media into chaos. Could it be that Rogan is connecting dots the mainstream media refuses to touch? Because if what he's hinting at turns out to be true, this could become one of the biggest twists in the entire saga.
That man... that young man... I forgive him.
One thing's certain, Joe Rogan isn't afraid to ruffle feathers. And this time, he may have just peeled back the first layer of something massive. It's been almost 2 months since the mysterious event involving Charlie Kirk, and we're still no closer to knowing what really happened. Just when people thought things were calming down, Rogan dropped new statements that threw everything back into confusion. Everyone knows Candace Owens has been saying from the beginning that the story doesn't add up, claiming certain agencies might be hiding the truth or even protecting the real person responsible. For weeks, she's been dragged online, mocked, called desperate for attention. But now, people are starting to reconsider. Because if Rogan's sources are legitimate, Candace might have been right all along. Candace was actually the very first to raise alarm bells, literally minutes after the incident. She pointed out something nobody else noticed at the time. A military-style aircraft had reportedly landed in Utah right before everything went down. People laughed at her back then. But she didn't back down. She doubled down. She started connecting dots, suggesting that maybe this wasn't some random tragedy, but something planned, something with layers we haven't even begun to unpack.
Find this rifle, and then you say, oh, he assembled it and he reassembled it. Like, okay. A lot. If I wish I was a cop, I'd sit in a room like, this story is horseshit. Like, none of these things make any sense to me. It's all part of the plan. If you want people to lose all faith that anyone is going to solve anything, you add a bunch of, if you're going to kill a guy, you add a bunch of other wacky that doesn't make any sense, and you spam it out there at the same time. You leave a gun that didn't do it out in the woods. You do a bunch of shit like that.
You have an old man put his out and yell, I did it, I did it.
Yeah, you get some kid who has a boyfriend who's a furry, and you
boyfriend
talk
is a
to him on
furry?
Discord.
As days turned into weeks, Candace grew even bolder. She began calling out officials directly, accusing them of taking over the investigation too quickly, as if they wanted to control the story before the public could start asking too many questions. She claimed local authorities were pushed aside while federal agents swooped in, tightening the information flow and muddying the timeline. And that's when things started to look truly strange.
There was that one guy who was the decoy. All right, so you got this guy who's an older guy who starts yelling out. Didn't he take his pants down? He took his pants down. This guy was at 9/11. He was at the Boston bombings.
All the hits.
He called in a fake bomb at another place. And then he did this at this thing. So somehow or another, this guy has the state of mind that the moment someone gets shot, he yells out and says, I did it, I did.
Now, with Joe Rogan echoing her doubts, the internet has officially gone into meltdown mode. Could both of them be right? Could this really be part of a larger, more organized cover-up? Whatever's happening, one thing's clear: this story is nowhere near finished. Each new piece of information only makes things more confusing, and every hint seems to open another layer of mystery.
What's the other thing? They said that he took it apart and then put it back together again. Shut the fuck up. Do you know how much time it would take to do that if you were highly skilled?
To disassemble a gun.
To disassemble a rifle so that you can get it in a backpack. And by the way, not going to fit.
Not going to fit in a backpack.
And then somehow or another reconnects it once he gets off the roof? What? Like, you're telling me that this kid who's not military trained, this guy, first of all, how did he get to the roof? How come nobody was looking? How come nobody was like, there's a direct line of sight between where he's sitting and those roofs? You guys didn't check? You don't have a drone? Like, that's insane. So he's on the roof, he shoots, he jumps from the roof. He jumps down 14 feet, jumps off of the roof and lands, whether or not he's even the guy who shot him. Maybe he thought he was going to shoot him. Maybe he's a pat.
If the real goal had been to uncover the truth about what happened to Charlie, every photo, every video, every angle from that night should have been released immediately. Because let's be honest, the internet can solve mysteries faster than any official task force. But according to Candace, that urgency never existed. That's what made her dig deeper. Before long, her focus shifted. She stopped just questioning the authorities and started asking questions about Erika Kirk herself. Candace began dropping subtle hints suggesting Erika might have played a far bigger role in all of this than people realized.
Then there arrived a moment when Charlie felt that the money was disappearing. He felt that, again, according to sources, that the company was burning through cash too quickly. And Charlie set about finding out why and how this was happening.
In one particular podcast clip, fans swear Candace threw shade, carefully implying that Erika wasn't the one fully making the big decisions around Charlie's memorial or even key choices afterward. Comment sections flooded instantly. People claimed Candace was trying to say something without directly naming names. But things really exploded after the memorial service, the same one where Erika appeared oddly calm and composed, even publicly forgiving the person accused of being involved. That moment shocked everyone. And Candace didn't hold back. Right after, she tweeted, "Be very wary of those telling you to stop asking questions about the Charlie Kirk situation." That single post blew up the internet. Suddenly, suspicion wasn't just on the government, it turned straight toward Erika. And when it was revealed that less than 2 weeks after Charlie's passing, Erika had been named the new CEO of Turning Point USA, the internet went ballistic. Many said the timing felt too convenient, almost prearranged. Others defended her, saying she was simply stepping up for her husband's legacy. Still, the questions kept piling up. Rumors swirled that Erika had inherited Charlie's entire estate, reportedly worth over $12 million. Add to that the millions in new donations to Turning Point USA, and suddenly people began to see a very different picture forming. Then came that unforgettable moment at the memorial, dramatic lighting, cameras flashing, Erika walking in with quiet confidence while the crowd parted. Viewers online said it felt more like a cinematic entrance than a moment of mourning. People were torn, some saw strength, others saw performance. But either way, Joe Rogan wasn't buying the official story. He openly said that what we've been told doesn't add up and agreed with Candace that there's much more happening behind the curtain than the public's been led to believe.
The question is, might be off topic. How did your mom choose Phoenix?
So she chose to move to Phoenix from Ohio because there was more of an opportunity for a female business owner out here. Especially from the standpoint of she was getting involved with the government, so Homeland Security and Department of Defense. And so she had other business partners that were out here that were already in that industry, even one that was a mentor of hers. So it was really convenient to be able to come all together in one place to really have.
On his podcast, Rogan laid out his own timeline of what reportedly took place at Utah Valley University on September 10th, and the questions he raised hit harder than anyone expected. Then came the part that made jaws drop. He brought up an older man, George Zen. Remember him? The one who confused everyone during the chaos by loudly claiming responsibility, creating total distraction while the scene unraveled. Well, Rogan revealed something new. George Zen's name has popped up in multiple strange situations before.
Could I ask Erika, please come out? Erika, please come out. Thank you.
Turns out, George has a bizarre history, a string of run-ins with law enforcement, a habit of showing up at major events under suspicious circumstances, and timing that always seems to raise red flags. It's like he appears just before chaos strikes. And now, people are asking the obvious question: how could someone with that kind of record just happen to be there again, right when everything went down? The odds sound impossible.
Well, fans found it weird, like this person who